हरि ओम्। नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य 27तमी कक्षार्थं सर्वेभ्यः स्वागतम्। Welcome you all for 27th session on online Sanskrit classes. एकवारं ह्यस्तनकक्षायाः पुनरावर्तनं दृष्ट्वा वयम् अग्रे चरामः। यः अवशिष्टविभक्तीनां सर्वाणां बहुवचनरूपाणि वयं ज्ञातवन्तः। अनन्तरं कश्चित् अभ्यासः अपि अस्माभिः कृतः। सो प्रथमतया यः वयं दृष्टवन्तः सप्तमी बहुवचनमिति। सप्तमविभक्तेः बहुवचनरूपं कथं भवति इति वयं दृष्टवन्तः। उदाहरणानि देवालयेषु, वाटिकासु, नदीषु, पुस्तकेषु। अत्र देवालयेषु भक्ताः सन्ति, the devotees are in the temples, and वाटिकासु वृक्षाः सन्ति, trees are in the gardens, and नदीषु जलम् अस्ति, water is in the rivers, and pustakeshu shlokaah santi, the shlokas are in the books. So wherever we define the locative case, and for the locative case the plural forms are given here, like devalayeshu, vatikasu, nadishu, pustakeshu. सर्वदा अत्र सप्तमे बहुवचने पदस्य अन्ते सर्वदा शु अथवा सु इति श्रूयते इति वयं दृष्टवन्तः. The words will always end with shu or su. That is the easiest way to remember सप्तमे बहुवचनम्. अनन्तरं तृतीय बहुवचनं वयं दृष्टवन्तः. अत्र बालकैः, बालिकाभिः, नर्तकीभिः, मित्रैः. सो सामान्यतया कुत्र तृतीय प्रयोगः कुत्र भवति इति वयं पूर्वमेव वयं जानीमः. अतः तेषां बहुवचनरूपाणि अत्र दत्तानि सन्ति. बालकैः क्रीडितव्यं, बाय्स् हेव् टु प्ले, and बालिकाभिः लेखितव्यं, the girls has to write, and nartakibih nartaniyam, dancers have to sing, dancers have to dance, and mitraihi vaktavyam, friends have to say. And so these are the things we have seen. And chaturthi bahuvachanam, devebhyah, mahilabhyah, devibhyah, mitrebhyah. So the easiest way to remember is always the forms will end with bhyah. So and chaturthi we know that it will be used with namaha or with any dana kriya. So devebhyah namaha, mahilabhyah dadatu, devibhyah namaha, mitrebhyah dadatu. So एवं तेषां प्रयोगः भवति. अनन्तरम् अग्रिमविभक्ति बहुवचनरूपं पञ्चमी बहुवचनम्. अत्र चतुर्थी पञ्चमी एतयोः भेदः कोऽपि नास्ति. द्वयमपि तस्य अन्ते भयः इति एव भवति. देवेभ्यः वृक्षेभ्यः, महिलाभ्यः शालाभ्यः, देवीभ्यः नदीभ्यः, मित्रेभ्यः मन्दिरेभ्यः. अतः रूपे भेदः नास्ति, परन्तु अर्थः तु सन्दर्भं दृष्ट्वा एव अवगन्तव्यम्. अनन्तरं सम्बोधनबहुवचनम्. अत्र सम्बोधनबहुवचने भिन्नरूपं नास्ति. यथा सामान्यबहुवचनं भवति तथैव सम्बोधने अपि बहुवचनरूपं भवति. उदाहरणं बालकाः, बालिकाः, नर्तक्यः, मित्राणि. ये बालकाः आगच्छन्तु, ये बालिकाः गच्छन्तु, ये नर्तक्यः नृत्यन्तु, ये मित्राणि आगच्छन्तु. So like that we will use even sambodhana, we will use the same plural forms even for sambodhana also. So this is what we have seen in yesterday's session. If you have any questions, we can clarify on these parts before we get started with the new topic. अस्तु, एतावत् पर्यन्तं वयं सर्वासां विभक्तीनां एकवचनरूपं बहुवचनरूपं वयं दृष्टवन्तः. एकवचने कथं भवति, बहुवचने तेषां रूपाणि कथं भवन्ति, अनन्तरं कुत्र कस्याः विभक्त्याः प्रयोगः करणीयः, एतत् सर्वं वयं दृष्टवन्तः, पठितवन्तः। प्रायः यस्तनकक्षायाः विषयाः अधिकाः आसन् इत्येव अहं मन्ये। यः एव सप्तमी तृतीया चतुर्थी पञ्चमी सम्बोधन पञ्चानां विभक्तीनाम् अपि बहुवचनपाठः आसीत्। अतः प्रायः तेषाम् अवगमनाय कश्चित् समयः आवश्यकः इति अहं जानामि। परन्तु अद्य एकं नूतनं विषयं वयं पठामः। किञ्चित् विस्तारेण अद्य वचनस्य विषये वयं जानीमः। सो वचनम् इति नंबर इति आङ्ग्लभाषया वक्तुं शक्नुमः। नंबर इत्युक्ते ग्रामटिकल् नंबर। So whatever we say is a singular, plural. So let us try to understand more about the vachanam in Sanskrit. So that's all about today's session. So the first thing, ekavachanam. एकवचनम् इत्युक्ते आङ्ग्लभाषया सिङ्गुलर् इति वक्तुं शक्नुमः। वयं प्रारम्भकक्षासु वयं दृष्टवन्तः कथम् एकवचनस्य प्रयोगः भवति। बालकः गच्छति, बालिका आगच्छति, नर्तकी नृत्यति, पुस्तकम् अस्ति, गृहम् अस्ति, मार्गः अस्ति. So all these words we already studied and they are all in the ekavachana form. That means it denotes a single person or a single object. So यदि एकस्य वस्तुनः निर्देशनं कर्तुम् अथवा एकस्य पुरुषस्य वा एकस्याः महिलायाः वा निर्देशनं कर्तुं एकवचनस्य प्रयोगः अस्ति। तथैव बहुवचनमपि वयं दृष्टवन्तः। यदा बहवः व्यक्तयः सन्ति, तथैव बहूनि वस्तूनि सन्ति, तेषां निर्देशनं कर्तुं बहुवचनस्य प्रयोगः आसीत्। सो उदाहरणार्थं बालकाः आगच्छन्ति, महिलाः आगच्छन्ति, भक्ताः आगच्छन्ति, देवालयाः सन्ति, पुस्तकानि सन्ति, श्लोकाः सन्ति। सो एवं वयम् उदाहरणानि वयं दृष्टवन्तः। न केवलं प्रथमाविभक्तिप्रयोगः, उदाहरणार्थ सप्तसु विभक्तिषु अपि वयं एतेषां रूपाणि वयं पठितवन्तः। उदाहरणार्थं बालकः, बालकं, बालकेन, एवं सप्तरूपाणि एकवचने पठितवन्तः। तथैव बहुवचने अपि सप्तरूपाणि वयं पठितवन्तः। सामान्यतया अत्र एकवचनं बहुवचनम् इति सर्वासु भाषासु अपि दृश्यते। परन्तु संस्कृतभाषायाम् इतोपि एकं वचनम् अस्ति, तदेव द्विवचनम् इति उच्यते। So in Sanskrit there is one more number that we call it as द्विवचनम्। आङ्ग्लभाषया ड्युअल् इति वक्तुं शक्नुमः। द्विवचनम् इत्युक्ते किमर्थम् इत्येव वयम् अद्य पश्यामः। अत्र द्विवचनं एकवचनं वयं जानीमः, एकस्य निर्देशनाय एकवचनं, बहूनां निर्देशनाय बहुवचनं, तथैव द्वयोः निर्देशनाय द्विवचनं भवति। यत्र द्वयस्य निर्देशनाय, उदाहरणं पुरुषद्वयं, महिलाद्वयम् अथवा वस्तुद्वयं, किमपि द्वयं भवति, तस्य निर्देशनाय द्विवचनस्य प्रयोगः भवति। अद्य विस्तारेण द्विवचनस्य विषये वयं पठामः। प्रथमतया द्विवचनं सामान्यतया वयं वदामः द्विवचनं संस्कृतभाषायां विशेषमस्ति इति। परन्तु तथा नास्ति। किमर्थं द्विवचनं विशेषणम् अस्ति इत्युक्ते, अन्यासु भाषासु अथवा अस्माकं ज्ञातभाषासु एतादृश द्विवचनं नास्ति इति कारणेन संस्कृतभाषायाः द्विवचनं प्रसिद्धम् इति वयं चिन्तयामः, तथा नास्ति। द्विवचनं यथा एकवचनमस्ति, यथा बहुवचनमस्ति, तथैव द्विवचनस्य स्थानमपि संस्कृतभाषायां. So we cannot say it is a special case or a special number in Sanskrit because we say it as special because in our languages we don't find Dvivachanam and we don't use it, or we don't have it at all. So we only have Ekavachanam and Bahuvachanam, and when it comes to Sanskrit we have Dvivachanam, so we call it as special. But from the Sanskrit perspective, Dvivachanam is not special, it is as common as other two. So whatever importance we give for Ekavachanam and whatever importance we give for Bahuvachanam, the same importance should be given for Dvivachanam also. And also we can see the usage of Dvivachanam as equal to other two. Parantu केषुचन स्थलेषु अथवा केषुचन समयेषु द्विवचनस्य अपेक्षया एकवचनस्य प्रयोगं कर्तुं वयं शक्नुमः. परन्तु यदि द्विवचनम् आवश्यकं तदा निश्चयेन द्विवचनस्य प्रयोगः करणीयः एव. वयम् इदानीम् आधुनिककाले कोऽपि द्विवचनस्य नियमं न जानन्ति, अतः अहं बहुवचनमेव तत्र प्रयोगं करोमि इति तथा कर्तुं न शक्नुमः संस्कृतभाषायां. यदि वस्तुद्वयम् अथवा व्यक्तिद्वयम् अस्ति तर्हि निश्चयेन तत्र द्विवचनस्य प्रयोगः करणीयः. So we cannot compromise Dvivachanam just because we don't know the rules or we don't have Dvivachanam in our languages. So I am very comfortable in using Ekavachanam and Bahuvachanam. So I will continue using Bahuvachanam in the place of Dvivachanam. That is not acceptable in Sanskrit, because the style of the language is like that, to have Dvivachanam. So let us learn Dvivachanam also. So we cannot compromise Dvivachanam at any case. And similarly, there are certain ways we can avoid Dvivachanam. यथा द्वयम् इत्यस्य इत्यनेन प्रयोगेन द्विवचनस्य स्थाने एकवचनस्य प्रयोगं कर्तुं शक्नुमः. So by using द्वयं we can actually use ekavachana forms and we can skip द्विवचनं. So एतद् वयं पूर्वमेव वयं दृष्टवन्तः. यथा बालकद्वयं गच्छति, अत्र बालकद्वयं means two boys, बालकद्वयं गच्छति, two boys go, that's the meaning. परन्तु अत्र बालकद्वयम् इत्युक्ते we are just using a workaround to convert a Dvivachanam or a two people to a singular just by adding dvayam. So what that dvayam does, it just gives a meaning of a set of two boys. So balaka dvayam means a set of two boys. So set of two boys, here set is a singular and a set of two boys goes. So that is how it comes in English. But a set of two boys goes and two boys go, the both are different in the meaning. So though we can understand the meaning is same, but there is a little difference in the actual meaning. So that is why it is recommended to use Dvivachanam, and maybe at the beginner stage you can use the workaround like dvayam or something else. And it is always recommended to use the original Dvivachana forms at the place of dvayam, but for beginners it is okay to use with dvayam. तथैव द्विवचनं संस्कृतभाषायाम् एव अस्ति वा इति प्रश्नः भवेत्. वयं किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते अस्माकं भाषासु द्विवचनं नास्ति, अस्माकं भारतीयभाषासु द्विवचनं नास्ति इति मन्ये. तथैव अन्यासु भाषासु अपि द्विवचनस्य प्रयोगः न दृश्यते. तर्हि द्विवचनम् अन्यासु भाषासु नास्ति इति वक्तुं न शक्नुमः. किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते इन्दो यूरोपियन् भाषासु द्विवचनं दृश्यमानम् अस्ति, तथैव दृष्टः अस्ति. So we have there is a Dvivachana forms are there in the Indo-European languages and also in other languages. तथैव आङ्ग्लभाषायामपि पुरातन आङ्ग्लभाषायामपि द्विवचनस्य प्रयोगः आसीत्. So in the olden days, in the olden language of English, in olden English also, we can see the Dvivachana usages. So in olden days, in olden ancient times, the Dvivachanam looks very common. It's not special to Sanskrit. But over the period, what happened is the usage of Dvivachanam in other languages got limited. So they don't encourage using Dvivachanam. So slowly the usage of Dvivachanam subsided, and we started using Bahuvachanam at the place of Dvivachanam. Very few languages, like I think Greek still uses Dvivachanam, and Sanskrit, of course, it is using Dvivachanam. So other languages, their usage of Dvivachanam is very limited, or maybe very few circumstances they use Dvivachanam. So it is not very regularly seen in other languages. Tathaiva kimartham Dvivachanam. So why there is an importance? Why do we need Dvivachanam? So सामान्यतया वयं पश्यामः अस्मिन् लोके सर्वत्र मुखद्वयं दृश्यते अथवा वस्तुद्वयं सामान्यतया दृश्यते, यथा सूर्यः चन्द्रः, प्रकाशः अन्धकारः, आहः निशः, अनन्तरम् उत्तमम् अनुत्तमं, जीवनं मृत्युः, पतिः पत्नी, सत्यम् असत्यं, धर्मः अधर्मः. सो एवम् एतादृशभेदः दृश्यते, परन्तु अत्र सर्वत्र अपि वस्तुद्वयम् अथवा व्यक्तिद्वयमेव अस्ति. सो इन् आल् दीस् प्लेसेस् यू केन् सी ओन्ली टूस्, and that is why there was a need to introduce or to specifically point out the people or the things which are in two. And you might ask, what about 3, or what about 4, or what about 5, or and other numbers? Of course, even other numbers have also their own significance and importance, but compared to 2, their usage is lesser. So that's why they actually categorize everything else as a Bahuvachanam, and only they focused more on Dvivachanam. Anantaram, where to use? Kutra Dvivachanasya prayogaha bhavati? सामान्यतया यत्र कुत्रापि द्वयस्य निर्देशनं भवति तत्र द्विवचनस्य प्रयोगः भवति. So wherever we wanted to denote or point out two people or two objects, then Dvivachanam will mandatorily will come. And one more thing is, whether all the words have Dvivachana forms? Yes, most of the words, of 90% of words, have Dvivachana forms. So how do we know whether a word has Dvivachana form? To understand that, just we take any word and just see if the word has Ekavachana and Bahuvachana forms. If the word has Ekavachana and Bahuvachana forms, then that word will also have Dvivachana form. That's a general rule, we can take it and go forward. Example, Balakaha. So Balaka word is a singular, Balakaha, and Bahuvachanam is Balakaha. So that means a Balaka word has both the forms, Balakaha, Balakaha, Ekavachanam, Bahuvachanam. So that means it will also have Dvivachana form. And similarly, we take a word of Gacchati. So Gacchati is a singular. And do we have plural for Gacchati? Yes, we have Gacchanti. So Gacchati word has singular and plural. So that means it will also have dual. So Gacchati, Gacchanti, and so it will also have dual. So this is just a rule to identify whether a word may or may not have Dvivachanam, just to identify that. And there are certain words which will always be in a particular number. Like if you take number 1, Ekam, if you take Ekam, you cannot say Ekam, Ekani. Ekam is a Ekam, it's just a number, and it always will have only Ekavachanam. The Bahuvachanam Rupams are not there. You can say Ekam, Ekam, Ekasya, Ekasmin, all Ekavachana forms, but you cannot have Bahuvachana forms for Ekam. So in that case, it will not also have Dvivachanam. And similarly, if we take number 3, Trini, Trini will always have Bahuvachana forms. It will not have Ekavachanam or Dvivachana forms. And if you take number 2, it will always have Dvivachana form. It will have only Dvivachana form. It will not have Ekavachanam or Bahuvachana forms. So there are certain other words which doesn't have all three genders, all three vachanas. But most of the words, almost everything, have these three vachanas. So that is one thing to note. And second thing is, सामान्यतया अस्माकं संस्कृतवाक्यम् अस्ति, तस्मिन् वाक्ये सामान्यतया क्रियापदं भवति, तथैव नामपदं भवति. So we will have a verb and we will have a noun. अत्र क्रियापदस्य अपि द्विवचनं भवति, नामपदस्य अपि द्विवचनं भवति इति वयं चिन्तयामः. So we will have, as we have ekavachanam bahuvachanam for kriyapada and namapada, the same way dvivachanam will also be there for kriyapada and namapada. So let us understand that, and we'll go ahead and try to understand the forms of dvivachana. I will, as you all know already, for each word in each vachanam we have 7 vibhakti forms. The same way we have 7 vibhakti forms for dvivachanam also. We'll just try to see the forms today. We'll try to cover as much as possible today. And of course, if you want to make any sentences, you need a word called asti. As that is how we started the basic class. Balakaha asti, vrikshaha asti. So how about bahuvachanam? Bahuvachanam we used to say santi. Balakaha santi, vrikshaha santi. Tathaiva dvivachane staha iti bhavati. Staha means exist, to exist. That's what it means. So we'll see with some examples. So idanim prathama vibhakti rupam. अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्गे शब्दः बालकः अस्ति. बालकः इत्युक्ते एकः बालकः, only one boy, and बालकौ means 2 boys. So बालकौ स्तः, देवालयौ स्तः, मार्गौ स्तः, एवं भवति. अनन्तरं आकारान्त स्त्रीलिङ्गे बालिका, बालिका बालिके, बालिके स्तः, महिले स्तः, shale staha. So that means balike staha means 2 girls are there, and mahile staha 2 ladies are there. Shale staha 2 schools are there. Utpitike staha 2 tables are there. And tathaiva ekaranta strilinga padam nadi asti. Nadi asti, nadyau staha. नद्यौ स्तः, नर्तक्यौ स्तः, भवत्यौ स्तः, युवत्यौ स्तः. सो एवं तेषां प्रयोगः भवति. नद्यौ स्तः 2 rivers are there. नर्तक्यौ स्तः 2 dancers are there. युवत्यौ स्तः 2 yuvatis are there. And similarly lekanyau स्तः 2 pens are there. ankanyau स्तः 2 pencils are there. So एवं तेषां प्रयोगः भवति. अनन्तरं अकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्ग शब्दः मित्रं, मित्रे. मित्रे स्तः, पुष्पे स्तः, गृहे स्तः, पुस्तके स्तः, पत्रे स्तः, नेत्रे स्तः, 2 eyes are there. So now you can say hastau स्तः, padau स्तः. So these are the 4 categories of words which you are studying from the beginning, like akaranta pullinga shabdah, akaranta strilinga shabdah, ikaranta strilinga shabdah, akaranta napumsakalinga shabdah. So tesham dvivachana rupani evam bhavanti. Balakau staha, balike staha, nadyau staha, mitre staha. The dvitiya vibhakti for dual forms will be same as prathama vibhakti. For example, in Ekavachana will be say balakam, balikam, nadim, mitram. Always we add im at the end. But when it comes to Dvivachana, it just as same as Prathama Vibhakti, like Balakau, Balike, Nadyau, Mitre. So Udaharanam, Aham Balakau Pashyami. I am seeing two boys. Aham Aham Vatike Gachami. I am going to two gardens. And Aham Nadyau Aham Nadyau Gachami. I am going to two rivers. And Tathaiva Aham Mitre Ahvayami. I am calling two friends. So wherever we use object or Dvitiya Vibhakti, the forms are same as the Prathama Vibhakti forms. अस्तु अग्रिमविभक्तिः षष्ठीविभक्तिरूपमस्ति बालकस्य नाम रामः एवं बालकस्य पुस्तकं तत्र बालकयोः पुस्तकं द बुक् आफ् टू बाय्स् and similarly balikayaah geetam the song of the girl and balikayoh geetam the song of two girls and similarly nadyah nama tathaiva nadyoh nama the name of the river and name of the rivers name of the two rivers and tathaiva mitrasya griham mitrayoh griham the friend's house and house of two friends. So wherever we use of or behalf or apostrophe s, so in those places we use sashti, and for them the corresponding dvivachana forms will end with yoho. Always balakayoho, balikayoho, nadyoho, mitrayoho. So it's easy to remember. So generally dvivachana forms are little easier compared to other forms. It actually follows the same pattern across the words. While usage it is easier, but while understanding any dvivachana text, it may be little difficult. Like when you say balakau, we have to see the context and understand whether it is said in Prathama Vibhakti or Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay, so next thing is that Saptami form. Saptami is nothing but the locative case. Balake in balaka, balakayoho in two boys, and balikayam in girl, and balikayoho in or at two girls. And similarly, nadyam in the river, and nadyoho in the two rivers, and mitre in the friend, and mitrayoho in the two friends. So these two here. Sashti Saptami forms are the same for Dvivachana. So as we have Prathama Dvitiya forms are same for Dvivachana, Tathaiva Sashti Saptami forms are also same. All ends with Yoho. So just by seeing, by understanding the context, we have to understand the meaning of the words. The next thing is about Tritiya Vibhakti. Balakene with boy or by boy, balakena gantavyam, balakabhyam gantavyam. A boy has to go and two boys have to go. And similarly, balikaya lekhaniyam, the girl has to write, and balikabhyam lekhaniyam, two girls have to write. And nadya Vahaniyam, the river should flow, and Nadi Bhyam Vahaniyam, the river, two rivers should flow. And similarly, Mitrena Gantavyam, friend has to go, and Mitra Bhyam Gantavyam, two friends has to go. So we know where to use Tritiya, so I am not touching on that part. So the forms, all the forms will end with Bhyam. So as Panchami and Kshamidam, Sashti Saptami ends with Yoho. Similarly, all the forms of Tritiya will end with Bhyam, irrespective of the gender. And similarly, Chaturthi forms will be Balakaya पुस्तकं ददातु, बालकाभ्यां पुस्तकं ददातु, बालिकायै पुस्तकं ददातु, बालिकाभ्यां पुस्तकं ददातु, नद्यै नद्यै नमः, नदीभ्यां नमः, मित्राय पुस्तकं ददातु, मित्राभ्यां पुस्तकं ददातु. सो अत्रापि तृतीया चतुर्थी रूपाणि समानानि भ्याम् एव भवति अन्ते. अनन्तरम् अन्तिम विभक्तिरूपं पञ्चमी, बालकात् पुस्तकं स्वीकरोतु, बालकाभ्यां पुस्तकं स्वीकरोतु, बालिकायाः पुस्तकं स्वीकरोतु, बालिकाभ्यां पुस्तकं स्वीकरोतु, नद्याः जलम् आनयतु, नदीभ्यां जलम् आनयतु, मित्रात् पुस्तकं स्वीकरोतु, मित्राभ्यां पुस्तकं स्वीकरोतु. सत्र एतासां त्रिविभक्तीनां रूपाणि सर्वाणि अपि समानानि एव भवन्ति. अन्ते भ्याम् इत्येव भवति. all three vibhakti forms, tritiya, chaturthi, panchami, in dvivachana forms will always end with bhyam, irrespective of the vibhakti or irrespective of gender. So the same way we will be using like padabhyam gamaniyam, netrabhyam drashtavyam, astabhyam karaniyam. So all the two are parts, whatever we have, eyes or ears, and karnabhyam shrotavyam. So all these in all these cases we will be using dvivachanam. So actually I have explained all the vibhakti forms here of dvivachanam because you already know the usage of each vibhakti in ekavachanam and bahuvachanam, and we did enough exercises, and we actually did enough revisions of those exercises. Just assuming that I have given forms of all the vibhaktis together here. Just the only thing is if you are addressing two people, and for that place whichever vibhakti you have to use, for that vibhakti you have to use the dvivachana form. It's as simple as that, but we have to practice more on that. And here if you see dvivachana forms are, as I said, it is easier because first and second are same, and third, fourth, fifth, all the forms in all the genders are same, like bhyam, 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 it ends with bhyam. And similarly sashti, saptami, the forms are again same, yoho, yoho, yoho. So while making sentences it is easy, but while understanding sentences which are already made will be difficult. That's because the same suffixes are used for many cases. So that is where we need more abhyasa. The more we do abhyasa and more we understand the context of the sentences, and we can actually distinguish which vibhakti or which gender they are trying to say. So that's one thing. And one more thing to note here is mitram, the dvivachanam prathama vibhakti will be mitre, and mitram ekavachana saptami rupam is also mitre. So aham vane gacchami. So when you say this sentence aham vane gacchami, it means both the things, like aham I am going to forest, TWO, I am going to two forests, and I am going in the forest. It means both. Aham vane gacchami, it means if you are taking in the saptami form, it gives the meaning of I am going in the forest. And if you are taking the meaning of dvivachana, it gives the meaning of I am going to two forest. So like that, we have to understand, or we have to understand this just by doing more abhyasa on this and by understanding the context. Astu. And the next thing on this is whenever we find any word, it might fit into any one of these buckets. And sometimes if you get new word, generally the forms of these words are not given like this. Whatever table I have given, this is not the actual table you can find in standard books. In standard books the forms are defined in different forms. I have given this because so you can relate the ekavachanam and bahuvachanam, ekavachanam and dvivachanam side by side. That's the only reason I have given I have given in this format, but actual format will be little different. If you take a particular word like Akaranta Pulinga Rama Shabdaha, the table will look like this. The columns are the Vachanams, Ekavachanam, Divivachanam, Bahuvachanam, and the rows are the Vibhaktis, Pratama Vibhakti, Dvitiya Vibhakti, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami. And in some tables you might find Sambodhana next to Pratama, or some tables you can find Sambodhana at the end of the table. So this is how a typical Vibhakti table looks like. It means this is a Vibhakti table for Rama Shabda. So you can see all the Ekavachana forms in the first column, all Divivachana forms in the second column, and all Bahuvachana forms in the third column. And correspondingly the Vibhaktis in the Vibhaktis as the rows. So here you can see whatever forms we have seen, the Ramo, and similarly Ramabhyam and Ramayoho, these forms and all you can find here. And similarly for Strilinga, one example I have given here. So all Vibhakti tables are the same. The columns are Vachanas and the rows are the Vibhaktis. So totally we'll have 21 forms, and if you include Sambodhana, it comes as 3 extra, 24. So total 24 forms, and sometimes few tables will not have Sambodhana, you will have only 21 forms. But 21 forms are mandatory. Even if they don't have Ekavachana forms, they will just put hyphen here. So that's a standard way of representing the Vibhakti forms. Astu, that's all for today's one. Today we have seen more important one like the Vachanam, the Divivachanam we have seen, and the forms of Divivachanam in all the Vibhaktis for all the 4 categories of words we have already studied, and similarly the standard format of the Vibhakti table we have seen. That's all for today's session. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to this channel Sanskrit.today to watch more videos like this. And if you like this video, please share with your friends and interested people and group. And please make use of a comment section by posting your feedbacks and any queries on this video. And finally, click on the like button if you like this video. Thanks for watching. Let us meet in the next video. Dhanyavadaha.